looking past your brother or sister's faults to see a brother or sister.
You praise Yahweh with understanding, then the next time you see your brother's fault or your sister's fault or you see them make a mistake, maybe you should have tears in your heart, crying tears of sadness for them, and reach out and have mercy and compassion for them. Instead of mocking with sadness and compassion, you say, I love you anyway, baby. I see you as my sister. I see you as my brother. Praise Yahweh. Oh, it's not that you haven't made mistakes. It's some of you haven't been caught yet. So don't laugh because you haven't been caught. You pray and ask Yahweh not to use you as an unrighteous example by letting you get caught. You won't feel too good once you get caught. You won't be funny no more. Praise Yahweh. See, I'm talking about love this morning. We're talking about the foundation of Yahweh's kingdom. Love. Love is when I don't see your fault. I'm talking about true love. I don't see your fault. I see Yahweh in you because I didn't choose you. Yahweh did. So he must have seen something in you that was good. So I'm looking for the good that I know must be there. Praise Yahweh. How can I negatively judge what Yahweh chooses? I'm not a better judge than Yahweh. If Yahweh chose you, he must have seen some good in you. If I can't see it, maybe I need to pray for my eyes to be open. In the meantime, I'm going to look beyond your faults and see a brother and a sister. That's all I see in here, my brothers and sisters. I don't see your faults, I see you. I see you becoming. That's the strength of our nation. Never, if you do something to me that I perceive as wrong, and then I see you stomp your toe, and then holler, praise Yahweh. Stomp your toe because you said something about me. You better look beyond that. Hallelujah, Yahweh. You wouldn't even be living if Yahweh looked at you like that. Glory to Yahweh. Don't be rash with your mouth. Remember Ecclesiastes 5 and 2. Our brotherhood, our nation, depends on understanding and practicing Matthew 22, 37 through 40. That's the foundation. On these two hang all the law. That we love Yahweh with all of our heart, mind, soul, body, and strength. And we love each other the same way. You love yourself when you make a mistake. You want mercy for yourself. Oh, yes, you do. You won't say, kill me, Yahweh. I made a mistake. Kill me, Yahweh. Go on and kill me. I will lay here and pray for death. Kill me right now. I made a mistake, Yahweh, so kill me. You don't do it. If you think you finna die, you start hollering, have mercy, Yahweh. Don't kill me, Yahweh. Have mercy on me, Yahweh. Don't kill me. I don't want to die. Give me another chance. Yes, you do. And Yahweh often has mercy on us. Then who are we not to have mercy on each other? Who are we? Some of us have been programmed by the devil to such an extent that we pray for blood. We want the blood of our brother. We want the blood of our sister. Hang him. Put the law on him. Hang him. And I know you think I'm crazy because I keep having mercy. But I have mercy because I love you. I love you deeper than anybody on earth has ever loved you. He can love you. Praise Yahweh. So every one of us that have thought bad about our brother and our sister and thought negative toward our brother and sister, I think it's time right now that we ask Yahweh to forgive us for even looking and concentrating on our brother and our sister, our husband and our wives' faults. Here we walk around day and night thinking about your faults. Why can't you think about the love of Yahweh? Why can't you think about the goodness of Yahweh? Why can't that be your conversation day and night? Why do you want to pick a fight? Why do you want to pick something to get on and get off about? Why don't you just pick Yahweh and his love and his mercy and his goodness and his laws and his statutes and his judgments and his commandments and his glory and his honor and his power and his marvelous works? Why can't that just be your conversation with one another? The glorious, wonderful works and the majesty of our Father Yahweh, the majesty of Yahweh, his mighty, wonderful accomplished throughout the world. Why can't we just let that be? That's what we are taught by the law to let be. But see, the white man, we haven't gotten rid of him in our mind yet. We must kill the devil's thoughts that he has placed within us. And today we have evidence that even after leaving the devil's world and becoming a full-time worker, where we don't have to work for the devil, still his ways, his thoughts are inside of us. And we need to pray and fast and study and get rid of these evil, wicked ways of the heathens and just let the love flow. So when you see your sister, you see love. When you see your brother, you see love. And if you don't think they love you like they ought to, then you ought to show them you love them like you ought to. Praise Yahweh. Since you think your brothers and sisters can't show you love, then let me see you show them you know how to love. If you think your sister or brother doesn't like you, then let me see you show them you like them. Hallelujah, Yahweh. Praise Yahweh. Thou shalt love Yahweh with all your heart. You must love your brother and sister as yourself. That's what we have not been taught. This is what we have not been taught. And then the word says, by this shall all men know you are my disciples if you have love one for another. Where is that? John 13, 34, 35. See what the white man can't stand is for us to love each other. That's what gives us one action. Praise Yahweh. John 13, 34, 35. Read.
A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another, as I have loved you, that ye also love one another. By this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another.
Praise Yahweh. Now, we've read these scriptures before, but the way we have love one for another is to look past your brother and sister's fault. You can't handle them alive. If you don't look beyond their fault, you'll find a buddy with whom you can discuss the fault with. Yes, you will. You'll search the temple, high and low, and say, did you see so-and-so's fault? Yeah, I saw. What you think about that? And now your whole day is spent gossiping about some brother and sister's fault. That's against the law. I know a scripture that says you discuss the law when you wake up, walk down the street, come in the house. Deuteronomy what? Deuteronomy 6:5. When you lay on your bed, wake up. Deuteronomy chapter 6. We start at verse 5. Since we own love. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 5. Read.
And thou shalt love the Lord thy God, Yahweh, with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way.
No, wait a minute. No, I think you got the wrong Bible. Thou shalt talk about your sister's faults when you sitteth in your house. And you shall talk about your brother's faults when you sitteth in your house. Isn't that the way it reads? Read that verse again. 7.
And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children.
You must teach your children how to talk about the faults of your brothers and sisters. Again.
And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, or when thou risest up. And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand, and they shall be as frontlets between thine eyes. And thou shalt write them upon the posts of thy house and on thy gate.
Praise Yahweh. Everywhere you look, the laws of Yahweh should be. In the front of your eyes should never be the faults of your brothers and your sisters. Never. Look what's supposed to be in front of your eyes as frontlets. What? The laws, statutes, judgments, and commandments of Yahweh. When you're sitting in your house, or you pick up your telephone, and you're talking to your brother or your sister, what should be going on from telephone ear to telephone ear? The laws of Yahweh. Now, if you don't do this, then just know you love the ways of the heathen. Jeremiah 10:2. You're not supposed to be like that. How to live with each other profitably is clearly given here in the scriptures. Read.
And be not dismayed at signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at it.
Praise Yahweh. How pleasant it is to dwell in unity. Psalms 133:1. Psalms 133, verse 1. Read.
Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren
Praise God. We get in trouble with Yahweh when we sit in ungodly counsel. Psalms chapter 1, verses 1 and 2. How do we have love for one another? Do not sit in ungodly counsel. That's how. Now, it's your choice, and you choose how you want to sit. No one forces you to sit in ungodly counsel. No one makes you to sit in the seat of the scornful. You're not forced to do that. But there are those who just love to talk like that. There are people who love to talk scornfully. They love ungodly conversation. They run around and search the temple out till they find some buddies who they can talk ungodly with, who won't do Leviticus 5 and 1. We have a mutually unspoken agreement. We'll sit in the room together and we'll talk about people, and I won't tell on you, and I know you're not going to tell on me. I know I can just trust you. You my buddy. You my partner in crime. All right, so if you're guilty, just quit it. If you're guilty sitting off in your rooms, in your offices, in different places, talking about your brothers and sisters' faults, stop. It's ungodly. You don't help them by talking about them. Have they changed? How many ever talked about somebody? I have. Don't be so slow to raise your hand. You know you've talked about people. Me too. We've talked about people. Did it help them? To this day, it hasn't made them better. Now that sounds like a wasted effort to me. You spend hours, days, weeks, and months talking about somebody, and it doesn't help them. Well, perhaps you who talked about people, it must have helped us. Made us rich. Of the time, if we got paid $10 an hour for every hour we talked about somebody, how many of us would be rich? See, all of us in here would be wealthy. Well, I know you're rich now. It didn't make you rich? You're kidding. You didn't get rich from talking about somebody? How about peace of mind? I know it gave you peace of mind. The more you talked about them, the more peace you had. How many confess it's a wasted effort in accomplishment or in accomplishing anything? Praise God. So what would be the wise thing to do? Keep doing it? Or get involved in something that's going to benefit us? Now Yahweh made us. How many agree to that? The mighty God. He made us. Don't you think he ought to know what is best for us? Our problem is we have not been at the feet of our Father Yahweh to teach us. We've been at the feet of the enemy. And what did we learn from the enemy? Hatred from one another. Hatred for one another. Division one against the other. But Yahweh lays down his laws not to hurt us, but to make us rich, prosperous, successful, powerful, united, high above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Peace of mind, security, unity, joy everlasting. That's what these laws that he laid down will do for us if we put them into practice. Now I've experimented and tried Yahweh's laws and I find them to work in every case. I've never been let down in any way from any law, only blessed. What are you discovering as you try and practice Yahweh's laws? Is Yahweh not blessing us? Yes, he is. The whole world can see that we're being blessed as we learn to practice Yahweh's laws. So why not give up all the rest of this stuff that's holding us down? Like talking about our brother and sister and seeing our husbands fall, seeing our wives fall, seeing our sister and our brothers fall. That's not your brother. The fault is not your brother and your sister. The devil put that in us. We want to get over it. Hallelujah, hallelujah. We're working day and night to get past that. Glory to Yahweh. And it's so pleasant dwelling together in unity. It's a pleasant thing. It's so much better when you can look your husband in the face and say, "Shalom, baby." Praise Yahweh. You can look at your wife and say, "Shalom, sweetheart," and don't see her fault. It's pretty rough to say "Shalom, baby," and you see all those faults, you know? You want to hit him, you know. "Shalom, baby." You said the right words, but you have the wrong feeling. You should take a page from my book. It's really wonderful. Dwelling together in unity. You know, when you can just live with someone all the time, around someone all the time, and always have something sweet to say. Huh? Unless they just get disobedient toward Yahweh, then you have to get in their case. Yahweh gets in their case. Yeah, see, some of you say, "Yeah, that's right. I'll get in that case." See, I was watching you. Some of you start shaking your head. Yeah. So, see? As soon as I catch you make a mistake, I'm going to get in your case. Who are you to get in that case? You fell for it, didn't you? Head started going, "Yeah, I can't wait for you to make a mistake so I can get in your case." I'm going to raise you all over again. I don't know how to rear anybody, but I'm going to raise you like an animal is raised. Sons and daughters of Yahweh are reared. You raise cattle. We have a pattern on how to grow. Laws, statutes, judgments, and commandments of Yahweh. That's our pattern. So when we see each other, we should see each other with a smile. I want a reflection from you. The one I reflect, I want back. So I give you a smile because I want it back. I want a reflection from you. The one I reflect, I want back. So I give you a smile because I want it back. You walk around with a frown all the time, you will meet that. People will start looking past you. They'll see you coming many feet away and they'll get a book. They'll start reading the Tanakh. Don't see no words in it, just reading it. Till you get past. So hope they keep walking. So hope they don't stop. I guess I can look out my peripheral vision and see if they... Yeah, they go. Oh, it's pleasant dwelling together in unity and love. And when we follow the order, it's so easy to do. I know it's different, but after you married and sleeping together for a while, you want to hear something else besides, baby, you sure look good to me. Hey, baby, let's go in here and have a private conversation. Hey, baby, good God Almighty, you sure are stacked up, honey. Ooh, I just love the way you look. You sure look good. I mean, you get somebody tell you that all day long. If you want to hear that all day, you sick. You are sick. How many want to hear something else besides that all day? I mean, there's only so much of that you can say. You have run out of ways to say it. Only when they knew. And some went out long before then. Sister changed her mind about marrying you. You run all your love stories down. You already love those stories. They call that a line, right? I mean, your line been dead. Your line has been shortened up, burned up. The fish took it and bit it off. You don't even have a line anymore. Now what do you have? See, if you don't have Yahweh and his law, statutes, judgments, and commandments, then you'll have the wrong thing in your mind. You'll look at your brother and think that one of your wives is looking at him with your stupid self. I mean, if you're Superman enough to have several, then you should be Superman not to worry. Huh? You got several and then you're not Superman enough to know you can take care of it and they're not looking at nobody else? There you go, a fool. You're supposed to be a leader in righteousness. In the law. He was an elder in one town, sister in another town, you in another one, worrying about whether she's looking way up yonder somewhere. Aren't you crazy? If you're in Yahweh, you don't have to worry about that. Just be in Yahweh, because see, you can't change none of it. You never could change it. You better pray she fall in love with Yahweh. Your only hope, son, is that she is in love with Yahweh. And then she'll keep the law. Don't worry about it. Oh yeah, she'll keep it because she loves Yahweh. It doesn't have anything to do with you being super. You're not super, son. Praise Yahweh. I'm not even going to waste your time today telling you how you are not super. You're not nearly as super as some told you you were. Praise Yahweh. So we'll let that lay, unless you feel more insecure. It's about loving Yahweh. That's my message. Loving Yahweh how much? With all. Then we don't get down on these little silly levels of who's looking at somebody. Who's looking at? Who's looking? Somebody's looking at you. I see you looking at, you look like you looking. Isn't that wild? I mean, you look like you looking at that. I can't see that you are looking, but I think you look like you looking. I just have a feeling inside myself that tells me that you look like you looking. That sister just looked like she's looking at you. She looked at me like she might want you. I'm not going for the hokey dokey. That's a terrible way to live. How many know that's right? Jealousy will give you ulcers. How many know jealousy will destroy you inside? How many have been driven almost crazy by someone jealous? I mean, almost drive you out of your mind with that jealousy. How many people have almost just been turned off by people that's too jealous? They turn you off. Make your life so unpleasant. So brother, sister, you don't make your mate love you by acting crazy jealous. That's right. Let Yahweh be jealous. Well, I'm supposed to be like Yahweh, be perfect like my Father, which is in heaven. He's jealous. I heard you get into that. I know all about you. Believe me, brother and sister, life goes better in the law. And in Deuteronomy 6, 5 through 7, we read that it really is better when we keep our mind in the law and let that be our conversation, because the other type of thoughts will drive you batty. You will always be wanting to fuss about something. You'll just become an old unpleasant fuss box, whining all the time. Every time your mate look up, you whining, trying to keep up with them. We running around, can't enjoy the feast for running around trying. I don't see him. Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? He was standing over there a minute ago. Hey, sister, let me know if you see him go out the door. Come and tell me. Got everybody watching for you. Where'd he go? Where'd she go? And they'll just report. She went right around the corner with so-and-so. That's not the way to live. The heathen lives like that. That's on the soap operas. As the world burns. The old and the restless. House on fire in the prairie. House on fire in the prairie. Be burning up with hostilities. Glory to Yahweh. As the temple turns. See, that comes from the devil. So we must give up the ways of the heathen. And go here to Psalms chapter 1, verses 1 and 2. Read.
Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly.
Now, how many know what a blessing is? All good things come your way if you do not sit in the seat of the ungodly. You want to be blessed? Then what will you do in regard to the ungodly? Turn away. Don't go sit down with them. Get you a new seat. Oh, I don't want them. I don't want their feelings to be hurt. Oh, you want to go to hell with them? Is it your feelings? Or do you want to go to heaven with Yahweh? Oh, that is here on earth, you know. You who are new, heaven is here on earth. Heaven is New Jerusalem in North Africa, where we go in. That's where heaven is. It's hell right now, but we're going to turn it into heaven. But you have to get your blessing by not sitting in the seat of the ungodly. Read.
Nor standeth in the way of the sinner.
What is a sinner? One that breaks the laws of Yahweh. John what? 3:4. Read on.
Nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful.
So now these are three kinds of people you must not be. Ungodly, a sinner, nor scornful. Now scornful, I think we all should know by now what a scorner is. He's one that makes fun of people. He sees somebody that weighs a little bit more than they should to get on the ship. And then he gives them a nickname. Here comes the blimp. See, that's scorning. Yahweh said, don't do that. Praise Yahweh. It comes your sister. She just weighs more than she should to get on the ship. Praise Yahweh. But see, when I want to help my sisters that are fat, then I read the scripture on gluttony. And let you see that somebody who is gluttonous is going to be killed. And a drunk. I see my brother that's a drunkard, then I point out the scripture to him that the drunks will be killed. And let him read that. Then you govern yourself according to the law. Glory to Yahweh. Isn't that wonderful? So don't be a scorner. And we learn that there are three types of people that we deal with in the public. In Proverbs chapter 1, we find out that it's one that hates and one that is what? A fool, a scorner, and the simple one. And the fool is one that just hates Yahweh's word, hate to see you coming, and just turn you off with foul language. Then the other one is the scorner is the one who goes by making fun of you when you pass by. Then there's the simple one. And Yahweh say 2/3 of our people will be lost. Praise Yahweh. Zechariah 13:9. So you read that later, write it down, and then you'll discover that the 2/3 that's going to be lost is the fool and the scorner. Those two out of the three will be lost. So only the simple have a chance. Only the simple have a chance to be saved. The fool, no matter what you tell him, he'll remain a fool. Now, Psalms chapter 1, verse 2. Here is how to be blessed. Read.
But his delight is in the law of the Lord Yahweh, and in his law does he meditate day and night.
Praise Yahweh. And in verse 3, what will happen to you if you delight in the law of Yahweh? Look at it. It's the law you must be concerned about. You must be happy in the law. That whatever the law of Yahweh is, that is your delight and pleasure and joy. And you love it so much, you love the law so much that you meditate in the law day and night, as Joshua 1 and 8. Right? Then you'll prosper and be successful, according to Joshua 1 8, if you meditate in the law day and night. Now today, for example, we have our temples from Baltimore and Washington, D.C. are fellowshipping today in Richmond, Virginia. All three temples are together. Praise Yahweh. Baltimore and Washington, D.C. left at 5:30 this morning, heading for Richmond. So at this hour, they're fellowshipping, and they're going out in Richmond in white, all three temples, and just shower Richmond in the word of Yahweh. And that's what they did in Baltimore this past month. Richmond and Washington were in Baltimore, and it's bringing results. And next month, the second Sunday of next month, those three temples will be in Washington, D.C., fellowshipping. Today we have Homestead and West Palm Beach here. The Nephilim, Amaziah, fellowshipping today. Praise Yahweh. Praise Yahweh. How pleasant it is to dwell together in unity. So Judith, I need that report, elders report, and the assignment. Praise Yahweh. So we're seeing here that in verse 3, if you delight in the law of Yahweh, you will be like a tree planted by rivers of waters. And what keeps a tree alive? Water. So if you are a tree planted by rivers of waters, what kind of life will you have? Long, healthy life. While other trees are starving and drying up and becoming brittle and dying, you'll be green and fruitful and drinking plenty. And you'll be like one who has fruit and be able to bring it in due season. But in verse 4, read.
The ungodly are not so, but are like chaff which the wind driveth away.
Next verse, read.
Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous.
Good gracious. Lawbreakers, those who love to break the law, in other words, are not going to be in our congregation. Praise Yahweh. You just won't be in our congregation. Praise Yahweh. But if you're in love with the law, look what happens. Now let's go to Joshua 1:8 and see what this love will do for us. Joshua chapter 1. Let's see what being in love with Yahweh and his law, the word, his word, That means you have to be in love with me too, because I am his word. Praise Yahweh. You can't love the word and don't love me, because we are together. We are truly one. Joshua 1:8, read.
This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success.
Read that one more time for me, please.
This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success.
Do some. All? Goodness. You sure about that? All? Praise Yahweh. That's our blessing. It's not a part of a blessing. That is our blessing. Praise Yahweh. So I hope today we have gained a great deal out of love. How many of you are going to look beyond your brother and sister's fault and see a brother and a sister?
Thank you for listening to our international broadcast. And now, some announcements by Yahweh, our Messiah.